oh, I'll go become a medical student. I can't want to be a medical student. I want to be a researcher. I don't want to be a researcher. I want to research brains of dolphins. I don't want to just research the brains of dolphins. I want to do it while high as fuck.
I want to damn high
you,
as fuck.
sir. Yeah.
Hello, Internet. Now please, hold on to your butt, as two comedians attempt to talk about serious subjects in a not-so-serious manner. From the mysterious to the utterly vicious, everything is fair game. This is the Kill Them With Comedy podcast, featuring true crime, amazing events, conspiracies, unsolved mysteries, and an array of weird and wonderful topics, all for your enjoyment. You're welcome.
And that proves that even people that you would trust with your life can, at some point, go fucking crazy.
It's coming back though, man. It's nice. It's a good thing.
Yeah, I can't
It's going to be a long road back, but we're going to get there.
I'm nervous, but I'm excited.
Yeah, I would. The scary things are always the most worthwhile things.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah. Anal's fine if you bring lots of lube. You can never have too much lube. All right?
It just feels strange as a guy having something go in, you know.
See, I've not actually tried that one yet.
Damn it, I haven't either, but
but there's always a day and there's always enough alcohol. So
there's always a time, always a place.
Yeah.
Just whether you've been there and got the t-shirt, yes.
Yeah. Right.
Carry on, sorry then. So masturbating dolphins.
Yes, that's what we're getting to. With Mr. or Dr. Lilly, as he eventually became, John C. Lilly. So, born to a wealthy family on January the 6th, 1915, in St. Paul, Minnesota, his dad was a high-powered banker, and his mother was from a wealthy business-owning family. Basically, they were a stockyard-owning family, so they had huge amounts of fucking wealth, constant like transportation in and out. He wanted for fucking nothing.
Yeah,
right?
So
he had
a place people like ship people go and like put their like the place that blew up in Beirut.
Exactly, that kind of shit. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So he had two brothers and a sister who tragically died when he was young. Lilly was had an aptitude for science with his own basement lab and pharmaceuticals handed to him by a pharmacy-owning friend. So, like, literally, there's this 13-year-old kid, and he's got a lab, and this guy's going, you know what you need, son? You need some seriously deadly chemicals. Let's see if you can't make something that's going to fuck you up.
Let's just be clear, one thing I just realised. His name's Lilly.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a recipe. Lilly, his name's Lilly. His name's Lilly. He owns a lab, dangerous chemicals. Family died, a load of them, a lot of money. Yeah, I can see where this is going. I can imagine it going worse than what it is going to go. So it sounds like he's an all right dude, considering.
Yeah, exactly. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, he's actually a really impressive dude in a lot of ways, and I'm pretty sure he didn't mean for it to quite go the way he intended it. But like, he took certain choices in his life that definitely forced him down a path.
Don't we all? Don't we all?
Exactly. So yeah, he was referred to as Einstein Jr. around his school. And at 14, the teachers encouraged him to conduct his experiments at school after hours. So they were just like, come on in, use our professional equipment to try and blow us up. It'll be fine.
Well, I mean, it's like, not that my mom would do this, but if someone's mom, for example, said to them when they were younger, don't go out and get high all on the street and that, or don't go out and get drunk everywhere. Bring you guys here and just go in the other room and get drunk, because at least, you know, we can make sure you're not going to kill yourself. Then do it here rather than randomly out and about.
That's a smart move. That's a good move. I like that move. Yeah. Yeah.
Not that
it's a shame more.
Never do that, you know.
No, of course not. No, that never happened. But if it did, what a badass person that mother would be.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to take for my children.
Yeah, fucking right. Yeah, it's one of those things I've sort of said to a few mates. Is like, if you did have kids, would you like smoke the first joint with them? It's like, okay, this is what it is. And you take a tiny bit, because if you take a lot, you're gonna fuck yourself up. Take a tiny bit, see how it feels.
I mean, if they've got to the age where they're thinking about it and it's around at that time, you know,
Yeah.
and because surely the taboo of it's got to have been like a lot less compared to now
Well, you
by that
hope so.
time.
Yeah.
I fucking hope so, yeah.
Yeah, because it's silly. It's fucking silly now.
One thing I wanted to ask you actually, that Eden Gate CBD bud stuff do you have? Does it still smell?
Yeah, a little bit. Not too much. Like, not quite as much as the other stuff, but it does definitely smell of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to get some for my gothic dude because he likes the idea of smoking that. It's just the THC high just kind of, he had like, you know, when you get it in your head, you have like a bad experience of it, or you just, it becomes like, was it like a switch in your head? Anytime you smoke, you get like panic attacks or something. You know, a lot of people seem to get it.
Yeah.
It's like you decide in your head and your subconscious, and it's just that then.
Yeah, the CBD will definitely help with that. Yeah. Like, it really is very good. I'm sort of saving up to get some more at some point fairly soon, because I like mixing it in with the other stuff now, because it sort of gives you a bit of a more clean, crisp sort of thing. You can get shit done during the day, which is nice.
That sounds like a very good idea, to be fair, mixing the two, yeah. That sounds like a very good idea. I
That's
might even do that myself,
yeah, definitely do. It really, really is very nice. Especially as like the flavour of that stuff's fucking stellar, because it's all like grown in an actual place where they can legally grow it, so they can use all the tricks of the trade to make it taste good. It's like,
it's just a slight idea of what it could be like, what it one day hopefully will be like.
It's just on the edge of the horizon. If we can just get people to stop being twats about it, it's ours.
Feels like it's there. Feels like it should be coming now. Everything should go that way, but we'll see.
Yeah, well, we see. Yeah. So yeah, John C. Lilly started to study philosophy just after he'd been invited into the labs to start testing his shit, and started to become a fan of something called subjective idealism. Now, I had to read up what this shit is, and it sort of says a lot about the man's mental state in general. Subjective idealism basically says that nothing is provably real except for for people's mentalities and thoughts. So, like, you have a personality that exists, and therefore that's the only thing that can be provably existed. That's the only thing that can provably exist. So it's sort of an extension of the Descartes thing of "I think, therefore I am," which a lot of people think is this sort of it's a grand gesture, but actually what he's saying in that is, I think, therefore I can prove that I exist, but I cannot prove that anything else exists, only that I exist, because this could all be a dream.
Is it? Yeah, because it's got anything past that point, like anything you quantify or anything at all, is always going to be going through the scope of yourself, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. And so there's sort of certain things are subjective, and like other people's feelings aren't as important as you consider them in certain situations. Very strange. It's a very strange doctrine.
Sounds like partly like it was made by like psychopaths.
Well, exactly. It does a bit, and it sort of, it kind of fits in with his personality. You'll sort of see twinges of that as we go along.
What was that exactly, though?
It was
explaining.
It's called subjective idealism.
Is that like a religion, a cult, or just an idea?
It's just a philosophical idea. Yeah. Like nihilism or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, eventually he goes on to study biology at the California Institute of Technology. In 1934, Lilly reads Aldous Huxley's Brave New World, which covers pharmacological control and chemical and physical mental processes, and how he controlled them within himself and stuff like that, which sort of leads Lilly to start focusing more on neurophysiology and the way the brain actually works, if that makes sense, and like the connections it makes and the chemicals it uses and all this kind of shit. So you sort of, we're gradually getting there, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, I like all that stuff myself. Like, it's quite, not even just the psychology.
It's fucking fascinating.
Yeah, just how it all goes together and that. And then you look at like animals that like kind of mimic it. It's very, very fucking fascinating.
Yeah, well, you know, humans are basically just fleshy computers. That's all we are. Everything
really.
Yeah, and we all have a basic programming. And the other thing as well that's really fascinating, going off on a bit of a tangent, is like fractals. And everyone talks about fractals when they're tripping out and things like that on like LSD or DMT and shit like that.
Yeah.
And the thing about fractals that's amazing is that they're fucking everywhere and you don't even realize they exist. You know, it's the blood capillaries in your body. They are fractals. They're sort of swirling out in this designed pattern, like trees are fractals. They're all, you know. Yeah, exactly. But also fractals can also sort of mean a sort of calculation. So there's things that reoccur in the human body as calculations. So for example, it's like, I think it's from there to there is the same length as your foot in most scenarios. Like, you know, when you put your arms out like that, that is the exact same width as you are tall. And, you know, the size of your shin bone in relation to finger bones and things like that is similar, and things like this, because it's all like repeated details. And that's sort of a fractal. A human being is a fractal.
Yeah. That's why, like, they use, like, looking at when you're, like, in the womb or something, when you're growing, they look at, like, spine length and that in regards to other things to see if you've got, like, Down syndrome or something like that. That's how they...
Oh, shit, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they check the size of your spine.
That's incredible. I didn't know that at all.
Random thing, like,
that shit's amazing.
I asked, like, when I was going through the baby stuff, I asked so many questions, everything. I always do. Doctors hate me.
Because it's fascinating, though. You want to know what what's going on, don't you?
Yeah, exactly, man.
Because it's like it's like every day to those guys. So they don't see it as amazing as you do. And you're like, you don't understand how incredible this is. This is modern magic, you bastards.
Everyone's congratulating me for spunking and forgetting the condom, and I want to know what I did so well. I want to see it. I want to know how it grows.
Yeah.
The only time you get congratulated for forgetting to wear a condom.
Yeah.
Anyway,
at least it does happen. You know.
Not for dolphins.
Not for dolphins.
It's a shame, though.
Yeah. So
posh wank.
I have had a couple of posh wanks.
I had one.
Sort of all right. They're okay. You know, they're like, what's the point?
Exactly. Other than like, you haven't got any tissue paper at the time.
Take the money that you were going to spend on condoms to have a posh wank and buy yourself a bottle of lube, and you will have way better time. Because you know when you're having one of those wanks and it's just like, I caught it. Shit. Yeah, I've caught my skin a little bit, or it's a little bit rough. It's going to be fucked up. That never happens with lube. Okay, don't dry dog people. It's bad for you.
Definitely. I'd rather take the money and buy some food just so I can fill that hole after the 2 minutes of shame, you know.
Yeah, exactly. That's, to be honest, probably a better use of the money.
Yeah.
So after he was studying neuropsychology or physiology, he starts to suffer from nervous exhaustion, quote unquote, after medical school. And with a marriage to his then fiancee Mary Crouch on the cards, he took a sabbatical working at a lumber mill, where he promptly put an axe in his foot. So, yeah. So in hospital, he decides to become a doctor of medicine because he's like, look at all these people doing fantastic work. I should be doing that shit.
The choice to just decide, I'm going to be a doctor of medicine. Why not?
Yeah, why the fuck not? I should be able to. This man is literally a goddamn genius. Like, I'll get to it towards it at the end, but he actually developed a lot of really important shit as well. It's just, sometimes the line between genius and insanity is incredibly, incredibly thin.
Well, it's what I keep telling people, when it comes to me, but they just don't understand. So
they don't get it, bro. They
it
don't
just
get it.
happens like that. But
It's a shame.
tell us another example of these people.
It's difficult living above these people as gods, but we have to do it, Carl.
Yeah, it's why we're so comfortable on stage. Everyone's below us.
Yeah,
I've said
because
that
we're
before.
perfect.
Yeah. We're all
yeah, so he obtains a bachelor's degree in science after enrolling at Dartmouth Medical School and starts happily dissecting some cadavers. That good old pastime.
yeah, I mean, it's better than doing it by your own
on live people
means. Yeah, and on live people,
well,
definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
So more sense than the post-mortem stuff I'm going to be talking about later, man.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Oh, that shit's going to be interesting as well. I haven't gone into detail on that shit, so I'm really looking forward to it.
This is more of a smorgasbord of facts but yeah, we'll get to it.
Yeah, that's fine. But yeah, so in the end, he cuts off about 32 different cadavers. He's having a wonderful time just stripping open people's penises and seeing how they work. That's what I'd do. I don't know why.
Like one of those parasite flowers from Resident Evil.
Oh, Jesus Christ! See, I took it to a level, Carl, and then you took it too far, and that's fucking respect that play. During an experiment after his first year at Dartmouth, he attempted an experiment on himself regarding muscle power and amino acids' effect on them, and how they sort of create glucosamine. The sort of the it's a sort of chemical in your muscles that helps it move properly. Pushing Lilly to his limit and starting to genuinely fuck himself up, but also starting off a trend of self-experimentation, which he would take way, way, way too far.
I mean, doing it to begin with is way too far, and then keeping doing it. Like, it didn't sound too bad, that first one.
Like literally to the point of... Yeah, but literally to the point of harm. Like, I'm not... The muscle growth thing, he was so weary by the end of it and so tired and out of it because he was starving himself of these crucial proteins.
He's going
he
the
nearly
opposite way.
Fucking died. Yeah.
Oh, he was seeing how it goes without it. Okay, I thought he was like pumping more into it.
Yeah, no, he was really fucking hurting himself.
Well, that's just fucking dumb then, yeah?
Yeah.
Why would you do that? You can't even look at the data properly at that point. You're going to be all like...
But the thing is, it did secure him his first published paper. So...
Yeah, fucking sympathy, probably.
Swings and roundabouts.
But you're still alive. Well done.
Exactly. Yeah. But like the problem is,
Daniel Day-Lewis got an Oscar for almost freezing to death in Gangs of New York when the people back then didn't even wear clothes like that. None of it was true. But
But Daniel Day-Lewis is just that weirdo, and like some of the fucking shit you hear about him on some of the sets, it's like, fuck me, I wouldn't want to ever work with him. Like, don't get me wrong, it's wonderful. Yeah, well, apparently it was really nice working with him when he was Abraham Lincoln, because Abraham Lincoln is, in his version of it, was this really nice, calm, relaxed dude. Yeah, he was like, oh yeah, this is fucking nice. Yeah.
And he's the one that famously, anyway, abolished slavery. I don't know how much of it really was him and how much he did abolish it. How much he did abolish slavery.
Yeah, he did abolish slavery, but he was also very famous for saying something like, people thought I was making black people my equal, but I never thought they were that. And it's like, can't really say that, Lincoln.
But, and then at the same time, it's like, which of it was he just saying for the people? Was he
maybe?
Which of it though was he saying that for the people? And yes, he did.
Was he saying that, or was he? Yeah.
Or the other? Yeah.
I mean, they definitely freed the slaves, and it definitely caused a rift between the two countries, but well, two sides. But
Well, I think the
you
fact that
know,
they were slaves was the reason for the rift. I mean, it started the healing, if anything.
yeah. Well, it sort of needed to happen regardless, and
Even though people like back over in like the places they came from got into the swing of like having having slaves. Sorry, like the people from there. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's strange
Yeah.
days.
Yeah, slavery it wasn't just a Western thing either. There, people in Saudi Arabia would get slaves, and Russia and all that kind of
Still happens
stuff,
now.
and China. Yeah, so modern slavery exists. It's usually a
Even
sex
here.
trade thing, though, unfortunately. But
Yeah.
So anyway, 2 years at Dartmouth, and he had a taste for experimentation, so transferred to the University of Pennsylvania to study medical research. He's gone from just a normal medical dude to having like a full-blown hard-on for finding shit out in a scientific way, which is, respectable.
Was Dartmouth England?
No, Dartmouth in America. I can't remember exactly which one it is. It's going to be Pennsylvania because it's the University of Pennsylvania, isn't it? So, no, Dartmouth is somewhere. Never mind.
Yeah, that's the one he moved to. Yeah, he's at Pennsylvania now. Yeah.
Yeah, he's at Pennsylvania now. So, meeting at Pennsylvania, he meets Professor H. Cuthbert Bassett. Or is it Basil? No, it's Bassett. Or Bassett. I'm not sure how to pronounce it because it's a Z, so it's weird. Yeah. Who solidified he manages to solidify Lilly's thoughts on experimentation with his view that a scientist should never conduct an experiment on another person without first conducting it on themselves.
What? That's dumb.
Yeah.
No. That doesn't make any sense.
No.
No, just no.
There's no reason why that would be a good scientific method. It's just dumb. It's this sort of thing of like, well, if you shouldn't be willing to put someone else through it, then you shouldn't do it yourself. That kind of thing. But like, yeah.
I get the logic of it, but it just doesn't work there because if you do something that, I don't know, makes your brain fall on the floor, but you would have known what to do instead, you can't then tell the next person what to do to fix it because your brain's on the floor.
Yeah, you're fucked. Yeah.
A weird analogy, but it works.
Just a brain in a jar. And who wants to be a brain in a jar?
Well, there was a film about that. I swear there was a film about that. Steve Martin.
I'm almost
Man
certain
with two brains.
I don't think I've seen that.
I just remember him walking around with a brain in a jar. I'm sure I might just be imagining this now. I don't know. Or conflating it with Futurama.
If it doesn't exist, you should definitely write it. It sounds like a fucking brilliant movie.
I swear it's real. I hope it's real. I might have Mandela myself. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. So, while finalizing his degree, he took part in a class called How to Build an Atomic Bomb.
What?
Yeah. Transcribing their notes into a book. He and his friends transcribed their notes into a book of the same title. Once again, How to Build an Atomic Fucking Bomb.
Maybe those fucking Japanese yoga cult people found that book.
This is what I was thinking as well. It's like, yeah, Lilly, you seem like the kind of guy who might be into that shit because he gets into yoga later on as well. So,
there you go.
Yeah.
Anyone doesn't know what we're talking about, go back a few episodes. Japanese yoga cult. Same one as, what was it again now? It was one I really liked that I did that same time. I can't think what it is now. It'll come back as we're going.
Yeah, it was something good. Something murdery, I think.
I don't know. It'll come back. I could have a look. I just can't be asked.
Yeah. So, by releasing this book, they draw the attention of General Leslie Graves, the director of the Manhattan Project.
Another Leslie, jeez.
Yeah. who tried and failed to suppress the book, basically, because he was like, you can't really have this information out there. We're trying to make a nuke right now. Stop trying to fucking release this information, you stupid cunts.
Fair fucking point.
Unfortunately or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, he couldn't, because there were no sort of copyrighted words being used in the transcribing of the lesson. They made their own notes off of what they learned, so they sort of their own shit, if you know what I mean.
That makes perfect sense, yeah.
Bearing in mind, though, he graduated in 1942. So that's 3 years before they used the nuke.
Oh, my timing was off. I thought that was the same year. Yeah, my timing.
No, 1939 to 1945, my friend.
Oh, for some reason, I always think 37 to 42 or 43 at the
Yeah, some people. It's the thing. It's like you think of it as a 30s war, but it really only had 1 year in the 30s, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's because a lot of it happened like when you just like they say these days. I reckon probably a lot of the fighting probably was in like because even when it got to the A bomb, there was probably a lot of shit that happened before that was just kind of milling around.
The Japan type stuff was fucking savage. Like after VE Day, the Japanese didn't want to stop fighting for, I think it was like a year or two.
Some of them for like 30 years.
Yeah, that's an interesting story.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Did you ever Tommy?
So, yeah. So in the 1930s, before all of the bomb stuff, his obsession with dolphins had already begun, because he starts to research dolphin cognition and communication, learning a great deal about dolphin brains. Oh no, sorry, this is the 1950s by this point. It started in the 1930s. He got to the 1950s when he was doing the research.
So he stayed with this for a bit then. He had a bit of focus for a bit. He
loved it. He loved dolphins, dude. This guy had a fucking thing for dolphins.
That is pretty apparent.
Yeah. So we get to he starts researching the brain structure, all this kind of stuff, the communication, as I say. By the 1960s, he has got a seaside lab which was converted into a dolphin human cohabitation house. Now,
so a cohabitation house. So, did you see any pictures of what that looks like?
I can indeed show you pictures of what that looks like.
Or just explain. I mean, like, did you see any like?
Well,
I just don't understand.
Basically, the way it is, they had what was originally a pool, and they converted the pool to have like tables and chairs in it that were all up to about waist height in water.
Oh.
So the people could walk around and wade through the water, and the dolphins could swim through the water next to them. So they were both living in the same area.
I'm so glad I asked, because I was imagining a house with like essentially like a pool in the middle of it, like a big circular tub or something, all underwater, like an air bubble, and like imagine like hamster tunnels coming out from each one, going through the rooms, so the dolphins could swim down through them. Like, I say hello as it goes down to the kitchen or something.
That would be way fucking cooler.
Yeah, but they want to full on like walk around in the place the dolphins piss, and you piss in that place too. The dolphins drink from there as well, in all fairness. So.
Right, so this is where we get to. Yeah, there's a Mirror article I'm reading from now, which is woman admits she had sex with a dolphin as part of NASA-funded scientific study.
Okay, so is this in regards to the story on about then?
Yeah,
it's a NASA thing as well. Oh god.
Yeah, NASA funded, a bit of CIA funding in there as well, a touch of the old what we said it last time, fucking
funding all like the random occult stuff, isn't it? A lot of the time, because the Nazis were so into it, and they're like, well, they were smart, they had a lot of good technology, so they must be doing something. Let's try and redo this.
Let's try doing something terrible. Yeah.
Fear of destiny.
So in the original article I read, a bit of extra context, it says that when she arrived on the Virgin Islands, she'd already heard about the place, and like she'd always been kind of obsessed with dolphins herself. She was always interested in trying to communicate with other animals and believed that was possible. So she goes to this place after finding out it exists, walks down to the lab, and it's like literally on a dirt path on an island that goes all the way down towards the beach, and then suddenly there's just this bright gleaming building, which they've set up, and
Oh, that's like the lab that they're using for it.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
Yeah, the cohabitation place and that.
Yeah, and she sort of goes up and she talks to one of the guys in charge, and he's like, "Oh, okay, what are you here for?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm interested. What's going on in this place? I really want a job. Can you help me out?" And so she starts working. Margaret Ho Lovett had loved animals since she was a little girl. One of her first memories is being given a book about a talking cat by her mother when she was a child. It sparked a lifelong fascination with animals, how they communicate, and led to her becoming a key part of the NASA-funded experiment in the 1960s. Margaret explained, "It was a story about a cat who could talk and understand humans, and it just stuck with me, but maybe there is a possibility."
Oh, that's a weird way to get to it. But how old was she when she read this story? Quite young, I imagine.
She was about 18, 19 at most. Yeah.
I was like 6.
Oh, well, no, when she read the story, yeah, that was when she was really young. But she was 20 when she got there. So her brother-in-law mentioned the secret lab on the island. She goes there and she talks to a man named Gregory Bateson. He was the director of the lab and was instantly impressed by the young woman who had marched up to him and told him she wanted to be involved and would do anything she could to help. He allowed Margaret to observe the dolphins and write down everything she observed. Despite having no scientific training, she was skilled at spotting animal behavior, and her place in the study was secured.
Yeah,
Margaret remembers
a lot
vividly.
Of stuff can just be natural, especially biology. Yeah. A lot of the stuff is just mindset and how you think.
Yeah, if you're sort of giving off a reasonable energy to an animal, most of the time they'll react in the same way as well. If you're sort of imposing on it and being a prick, normally they'll bite back, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, they can see through the bullshit. In my opinion, that's a lot of what animal. I kind of believe in that stuff as well, that you can communicate. I think animals have more of an understanding of us than we do of them a lot of the time. Whether they completely understand that they understand us, I don't know, but they do have an understanding of us.
Yeah, like we've got a cat who just is incredibly talkative, Yeah. And it's just like, "Hello, humbug, how's it going?" Meow. Oh, okay. Well, what do you want? Meow. And it's like, "Okay, I'll get you some food in a minute." Meow. Okay, I'll get you some food now.
And they all have like different personalities, so you can't say it's just that's how those animals act. It's like, well, different animals act in different ways, so there's something there in regards to how they act. So,
oh yeah, they've all got personalities. I've got a hamster up there that's got personality. What was I saying?
They were impressed by how she just walked up, which I was as well. Yes. Like the fact that she had like no training in that, but they were just like, "Yeah, bring her in."
Yeah,
it makes sense that they should do that, but normally there's a lot more red tape.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. We've already sort of seen what was going on with Dr. Lilly. He was the guy in charge of this place, so
I like the way he's doing it up until now.
Yeah. So she basically had to sit there with 3 dolphins. By this point, they'd set up the place, so it was a living area to cohabit with the dolphins. She explained that the dolphins were named Peter, Pamela, and Sissy. Sissy was the biggest, pushy, loud. She sort of ran the show. Pamela was very shy and fearful, and Peter was a young guy. He was sexually coming of age and a bit naughty.
God, okay. I mean, they're mammals. They're arguably like the smartest animals on, like, other than us, obviously the smartest mammals. Sure. Yeah. Okay. Puberty. Yeah. Makes sense.
And I mean, remember, all this is funded by NASA as a scheme to determine whether or not the dolphins can communicate with humans. Like, basically, they were trying to figure out if there was some way that we could understand their language and they could understand our language, so that we could both communicate with each other simultaneously. So
If
it's like by spending this time, you'd learn eventually what the meant. And
Yeah.
so, exactly.
It's strange, like, because I mentioned that sea people thing at the beginning, the conspiracy, why they don't see.
And
that came from me randomly listening to Joe Rogan earlier, and he had a short conversation with someone about whether scientists could understand dolphins, and they were like, well, I'm pretty sure something said we could, or something said that you can't. So I'm more interested
this
in
is what said it could.
Oh,
this is what he was talking about. He was talking about Dr. John
Rogan
C
was
Lilly.
wrong then in that case. He was saying you couldn't. That the test.
Well, he says that the tests prove that you can't. Now, it's questionable whether that's actually true or not, because it depends on what scientist you ask and what kind of communication system you're using. If you're using, we'll get onto that later on, but like there are people who are trying to figure out a communication system that would be a computer working out what the dolphins are saying, and they've got actually relatively far with that. But
yeah,
more on that later.
It's the different ways of communicating. They're just looking at it for a person way rather than all these other ways. Like, there's already animals we know to communicate in completely different ways than we do.
Yeah. Hang on. Yeah, and including electromagnetic stuff. Like a lot of animals pick up electromagnetic signals way quicker than people do. Even there are some people who seem to be able to do it. Like there's some people who get tired before it rains and shit like that.
Headaches
an electromagnetic or pressure response.
It's like when you walk up the stairs and there's like an old TV. The ones like that go on standby. You walk up the stairs, you can tell there's a TV on standby in there. You can just feel the buzzing going on. Yeah, you just know.
It's interesting, isn't it? These sort of extra senses. It's like that. There's people say that there's 6 senses, but apparently there's significantly more, because one of the senses that people never think of is sense of position. So like when you close your eyes, you can still touch your eyes and your forehead and your nose and either side of your lips, because you know where your body is in space, regardless of the fact that you can't see it.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. And you can trick your body as well, because you can sort of cross your arms over for a long enough amount of time, and it will mess up your brain signals, and you'll start fucking up which one it is you're trying to send a signal to. Weirdly.
Yeah, even when you're looking at it, like you cross it over, like if you have your fingers all like tied through and that can make it really confusing sometimes to move the right finger.
Yeah.
But we're really smart but really dumb, and I imagine all animals are like that.
Yeah. Well, I think there are some animals that are distinctly fucking stupid, though.
Well, we're probably more stupid because we're smart and we have the emotional intelligence, which makes us more stupid.
Nah, bro. Have you seen pigeons? Like I saw an I fucking love science article recently. It was incredible. Okay. It was just basically what pigeons will call a nest, and it is literally like 3 twigs on someone's fucking floor mat outside their door.
Oh god. Okay, so pigeons.
Another one was in. Yeah, pigeons are the fucking worst, dude. Pigeons
but they're everywhere.
Yeah, they're sky rats.
It's always the dumb animals that are just kind of happy with whatever and just go with things to survive.
Yeah,
actually, that doesn't describe us at all. Actually, the dumb part, but not just happy to go with whatever. That's not people at all. Apart from America when it comes with presidents, but that's not us again.
Well, you say that, but like, shit gets worse in a lot of places and people are just like, yeah, but it's just the way it is.
I suppose, it does. It does at the same time, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone's got their own sort of boiling a frog scenario going on. You know what I mean? It's just like, you don't throw them in straight away. You gradually increase the temperature while they're in it, and then they don't notice they're boiling to death.
No, well, you don't do either. You actually stick a straw in their mouth, hold it down, blow into it, and make them into a balloon. Now you know.
No, God. No.
Apparently that works.
Really? Oh God, I don't want to try.
I don't want to try. I can't imagine it would work. It was one of the things you hear as a kid.
Yeah. Sounds like something from a Disney movie.
Yeah.
But in a good way. So yeah. I was wrong apparently as well. Apparently Margaret helped them design the place, because apparently scientists were determined to get closer look at the creatures and came up with a bizarre plan to watch them in everyday life. They help transform a domestic home into a dolphinarium by flooding it with knee-deep water. As Margaret spent more time with the majestic creatures, she formed ever closer bonds with them, especially Peter.
Oh God.
She explained Peter liked to be with me. He would rub himself on my knee, or my foot, or my hand, and I allowed that. I wasn't
Yep.
uncomfortable as long as it wasn't too rough. In the beginning, I would put him on the elevator and say, "You go play with the girls for a day." It was just easier to incorporate that and let it happen. It was very precious and very gentle. Peter was right there. You knew that I was right there.
It's an open relationship, then, at least.
Yeah.
They weren't tying each other down. They knew they were from different worlds. They knew
Yeah.
they had to spread their wings, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
And do whatever.
Flap their flippers.
Yeah. Flippity flap flap.
So, yeah, Margaret claims it became a regular part of her studies. She tried to teach Peter to speak English. Never gonna happen.
God.
Don't have vocal cords.
Yeah. Why would you go that way? Why would you ever think, okay, I need to talk to a dolphin?
Yeah.
Rather than me learn dolphin language, I'll make
There's
it
audio
learn
of
English.
this. There is audio of this. In fact, I might have to find the audio and send it to you.
It can't be particularly good audio because I can't imagine it got anywhere near, actually working.
Nowhere near.
Surely, yeah. What am I looking for? Thingy again.
Right, I'm going to just send you a clip.
Thingy.
I'm going to send you a fucking clip, bro.
And just while that's going on as well, I just got a message through from Kitty Messalina, who's been on the quiz recently. She's coming on again soon. She runs late stage comedy with John Morris, who's also been on the quiz and stuff a few times. They've got some free tickets going out for a gig in the next few days, or there's one again on Friday, I think, as well, or sometime soon. Whenever you're watching this, have a look at late stage comedy. There's probably some.
Check it out.
There's probably some stuff available.
Get some tickets. Enjoy yourself, people.
Yeah, you sent me a thing, didn't you? That's what I just completely forgot what I was doing then. Completely fucking forgot.
She added, by the way, while you're finding that, it was sexual on his part. It was not sexual on mine.
Yeah, she was saying that, wasn't she?
Sensuous, perhaps.
That's better. That's better. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
It'll
not
become
like
part of what was going on, like an itch. Just get rid of that, and we'll catch, and we'll get rid of that. We'll scratch. We'll scratch it, and we. Oh God, we would be done and move on. Jesus fucking Christ.
It doesn't sound like every. That dolphin's a booty call, basically, is all she's saying. I get an itch.
Yeah.
He helps me scratch it. Fucks off then.
I was there to get to know Peter, she said. That was part of Peter. The lab had been created by neuroscientist John Lilly, obviously. However, what had started as an innocent experience became embroiled by scandal by the time it closed down. Not only was Margaret's relationship with Peter, there were also rumors the dolphins had been abused when they were given LSD.
Right.
Now, play this video, and then we're going to finish off this mad fucking story.
That's fucking amazing. LSD to a fucking dolphin. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot wait to hear how that came. He doesn't have a clue what it's fucking saying.
Peter the way I talk to you.
Oh God. Oh God, it's worse.
I
She's
spoke in
old.
single words usually, and made inflection something that he could follow. That they were very good at.
That was her in the video, though, wasn't it?
But if I said
younger,
1, 2, 3, I wouldn't get 1, 2, 3.
Just talking over little bits every now and then, so it doesn't blow us up on the copyright.
Yeah, that's basically that's all you need to see. So you've got an idea of what the fuck was going on here, right?
Oh God, let me just turn that off. It's still playing on my thing. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I see that it was copying. I don't really buy that it was communicating. It was just copying, like Parish do.
yeah, and again, not even that. I think it probably does show a degree of intelligence. It's a mimicry of some point, and it's obviously trying to sort of get what it wants by doing it. But
Yeah.
you get the same sort of things from chimps and things like that. Like they found a chimp that was like, I want banana. I want banana. It would learn the sign language for banana, but it wouldn't
Oh,
actually
yeah.
communicate. It would
I've seen
just
some
say,
though.
I know I can get that for a banana, you know?
I've seen some actual chimps, like, there was on this chaser program, they went and like met different things to test their intelligence against different things, and one of them was animals. And they met this chimp that was having full-on conversations through a touchscreen and sign language and picking what he wants super quick,
Yeah.
like really, really surprising. It just knows how to communicate through
That's
sign language.
interesting. That's interesting. I'm gonna have to find that. I'm gonna have to look at that at some point.
I forgot about that. That's like an actual legit thing. So yeah, there's definitely animals that communicate. Definitely.
Yeah,
But
it's
they feel
all
too near
the
to
sort
us.
of degree to which, because like again, like the chimp will probably communicate very well about items and objects, but it won't communicate well about emotions and thoughts, if that makes sense.
Won't communicate, I'll just rip your penis off.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, if it gets pissed off, it's going to kill you. It's not going to
Yeah.
go, oh, excuse me, mate, do you mind not saying that? And, you know.
No, it's not going to have a civilized conversation. It's going to act like a chav.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to act like a ruthless chav and rip your gonads off and probably chew them a bit and then spit them on you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, so. Yeah, Lilly wasn't just a madman. Okay? He developed some serious fucking shit, including instruments for measuring gas pressure. He researched high altitude flying. He created the isolation tank.
Is that like the water isolation tank?
Yeah, it's the thing that that Joe Rogan talks about all the time, getting in the isolation. He literally invented that. He also worked on SETI,
sensory
the search
deprivation
for
tank. That's it.
Yeah. He also worked on SETI, the search for extraterrestrial intelligence.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Because he, had information on trying to communicate with a different species, which might have an entirely different way of talking. You know what I mean? It's a useful skill to have.
And through NASA as well. Once again, we know now NASA has always had some kind of foot in the door when it comes to aliens. So
yeah. But the Dolphin Communication Research Institute was his baby. This was the thing that he loved more than anything else. And it helped that it was in the Virgin Islands. It was like working on holiday the entire fucking time.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's funny that you go to the Virgin Islands to wank off a dolphin, but
yeah. So the problem is, about halfway through the 60s, Lilly starts to get really heavily into acid, like a lot of acid, like a huge amount of fucking acid.
Right.
He would trip balls in the isolation tank, or actually or with the dolphins in the pool, or sometimes he'd take it a step further and get high as fuck tripping in an isolation tank suspended above a pool of dolphins.
What's the fucking point of that?
Oh, apparently there was. Apparently there was a point, Carl, because this is a direct quote from Jonathan C. Lilly, right? During a session in an isolation tank, I constructed during a session in an isolation tank I constructed over a pool where dolphins were swimming, I participated in a conversation between the dolphins. It drove me crazy. There was too much information. They communicated so fast.
No.
Yeah, or you were high as fuck.
You're just high as fuck finding meaning in stuff that doesn't really have meaning, but in your head at the time. Yeah, made perfect sense. And that's not a sensory deprivation tank if you can hear them. No. Sensory deprivation tank, it means you can't.
He couldn't hear them. He couldn't hear them.
Oh.
He couldn't hear them. He was just suspended above them and thought he was part of the conversation.
Okay, now. Okay. Yeah, too much LSD.
way
much
too much
LSD.
LSD. It's like way too much LSD.
I mean, there's a tiny chance we're just not having enough, but it's probably too much LSD.
It's probably too much LSD. Yeah, I mean, don't
Probably.
get me wrong. I'm willing to conduct experiments, but maybe not to John C. Lilly's level.
I would go in a sensory deprivation tank and have something though. I like them, but I don't know how.
I've never tried one.
I haven't, but I like the idea of it. Just
Oh, I like. Yeah.
yeah. I imagine
It
it'd be
seems
quite
like a great
relaxing.
idea.
And
There's got to be isolation tanks in Birmingham somewhere. There's got to be someone who does that shit.
yeah, and if not, anyway, just turn all the lights off in your bathroom, run a bath, and put some cling film over the top. Same thing.
Yeah.
You might kill yourself or end up cooking yourself like a baked potato or something.
Yeah.
But if you use
It'll be
foil
okay.
anyway.
Yeah, just wrap yourself up like a nice Christmas ham.
And you're also stopping the aliens from reading your mind then, so
Yeah.
win-win.
Yeah.
Well, that makes as much logical sense as that.
I'm down with it, man. Let's do it. Let's take down the power.
The man.
Yeah. So by the 1980s, Lilly was using a computer system to make a created language between dolphins and humans, something that they could both understand and communicate through. Kind of like the Esperanto of the sea, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Do you not know what Esperanto is? Oh, bro. Esperanto was one man's idea to create a unified language across the world. And so he created it out of multiple different languages from Europe, like English, Spanish, Italian, German, all those bits thrown in together.
I have heard bits of that.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what he's trying to do, but with dolphins. Now, as I say, later on, people do actually use a scientific method with a computer to isolate sounds that dolphins make and interpret what they mean and, like, you know, communicate. Communicate with them yet, but try and find out what they use as language.
Yeah.
But his enjoyment of
it doesn't seem crazy to think that you could learn the language of an animal. It doesn't seem crazy to me.
It's not crazy. It's just incredibly complicated, and there's no way you could do it with just your human brain. You have to use an AI of some form to try and, you know, crack the code, so to speak.
I mean, I imagine the practices that he uses are going to go downhill in a moment. So,
yeah. Well, they've gone basically about as far down as they can go. He ended up creating a book series.
That hand especially can travel further down. Trust me.
God, jeez, I just can't think of anyone jacking off a fucking dolphin. It just seems like a horrible process, man.
I mean, I didn't even think about the concept of a dolphin having a penis.
Stuck in my head.
Just seems weird. Imagine a dolphin flopping up all elegant and literally flopping about as it does it.
Oh, Jesus.
Gives a whole new idea to, like, was it Free Willy?
Yeah.
That's a whale in it. Yeah. But Echo the dolphin.
Echo the dolphin, yeah. It's not quite as funny because there's not a willy in it, but you know. So yeah, he started his book series, which was called Programming and Metaprogramming in the Human Biocomputer.
All right.
It's a pretty LSD sounding fucking name for a book, if you ask me.
Yeah, very much.
Yeah, slowly introducing yoga and spiritualism more as it went along. He had a full-blown fucking yogi around who was teaching him, like, transcendental meditation, this, and, you know, communicate with the creatures by doing that. And
he took the spiritual step from too much LSD and he's gone balls deep into this. Yeah.
Yeah, and just the whole thing starts to fall apart. They lose their NASA research budget, all this kind of stuff. Lilly's psychoactive research led to him to believe in what he called the ECCO, the Earth Coincidence Control Office, which was part of a group of cosmic entities, one of the lowest of these group of cosmic entities, and they all went up higher and higher and higher in
hierarchy.
Hierarchy, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was it called again?
It was called the ECCO, or the Earth Coincidence Control Office.
Fuck it. So I imagine it's exactly what it says on the tin. Basically, a fucking ridiculous tin. A group of people that look at or plan all the coincidences and the idea.
Beyond that,
fucking stupid.
these were spiritual entities. These were gods above us, like that were still putting on suits and working 9 to 5 by the sounds of it.
Things that aren't earthly beings deciding what happens on Earth.
Apparently, yeah. And they control the coincidences of the world.
Yeah, checks out.
Yep.
Don't see anything wrong with that.
At age 86, Lilly died in Los Angeles on September the 30th, 2001, of heart failure. But what a fucking life, dude. Like, even if you don't like what Lilly happened to end up becoming, or the way he got there, you've got to respect a man who just straight up lives the exact life he wants to live.
Oh, yeah.
You know, he's like, I really want to fucking research this. Oh, I'm researching too hard. I'll go be a lumberjack. Oh, I can't be a lumberjack. I've just chopped my foot in. Oh, I'll go become a medical student. I can't want to be a medical student. I want to be a researcher. I don't want to be a researcher. I want to research brains of dolphins. I don't want to just research the brains of dolphins. I want to do it while high as fuck.
I want to dem high as fuck.
Yeah.
Wanking them off, bit far. Did you actually get to explaining the actual wank off part? I don't think you did.
Yeah, no, she genuinely did wank them off. Like, yeah, if that wasn't clear.
The general things you did.
Yeah, that was one of the things she had to do, because apparently at various moments, Peter, the randy little dolphin, would be she'd be going, no, say this, and he'd be like, and just start rubbing up against her. She's like, oh, for fuck's sake, fucking wank off the dolphin again. Okay, say this.
Every time you do, you're just going to make him think that's how you get it. He's just going to do it more.
Exactly. It, like, there's no, like, oh my god, it just doesn't
been
work.
In a long-term relationship knows that concept.
Yeah.
What you do, you have to think about it. You keep a tally.
Yeah, you make sure you figure out how to get what you need, and construction.
Stick it in the blowhole. Oh yeah, have to. Oh, that was a story. I think it's impossible.
It is a story.
I think it's impossible to be a comedian without appreciating someone that is unapologetically doing their own thing. But yeah. I mean, most of it wasn't that bad. It seemed more her jacking off the dolphin. So he just seemed.
Remember, she was the sort of a fairly, young and impressionable young woman who went into this place and then started being told, yeah, just jerk them off if they get noisy.
And the fact that in that video she's an older woman and like still seems completely comfortable talking about it. Not a little bit weird.
I have seen her in lots of interviews. She is not weird about it at all. She's like, oh, no, it's perfectly fine. I was just doing this thing. And what you don't understand, people, is that we made a lot of really good research there. We got a lot of advancements. Like, you may well have done, but you also wanked off a dolphin.
A lot.
So,
yeah, a loving relationship with that dolphin. Whether she realised it or not, she was in a loving relationship with that dolphin.
Yeah, that dolphin needed her by the end. Yeah.
Hey, he had her.
Yeah.
Right then, does that mean it's time to move on to my story now then?
Yes.
You know what I'll do actually though, before we get going on this, just so I don't have to add it on afterwards, I'll just show a. Have you seen the new little 30-second teaser for the quiz?
Sorry, not yet.
Keep that energy going, and we'll have a look at it now.
To anyone who finds this is a warning. Alex has taken over.
I repeat, this is an Alex takeover.
My God.
God help us all.
It does.
Okay.
It does feel good to have a haircut like this. I can't deny it.
Bye. Bye. Fuck you, Alex.
What on earth could that rapscallion Alex Plant be talking about? Something about the 21st of April.
Almost next week, isn't it? Next Wednesday.
That's next Wednesday. What could possibly happen?